Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Art of Awkward's D&D part of the channel. We're going to be talking a little bit today about the establishment of my D&D world that I currently DM, and kind of where it's going and how everything is kind of building through it. So today, we'll start with a little bit of the beginning. The campaign is called The Old War Call. That is echoing back to the very beginning of this world. The world was created by the aspects of Tiamat fighting within themselves. They split apart and created the 4 continents that inhabit this earth and is looked over by the victor. The first continent to be created was when the first aspect fell down to this earth, being the black one. The black aspect fell, followed by the red, then followed by the blue, and lastly to fall was a green. The white aspect has been looking over this world and just slowly losing parts of themselves over this time. A lot of it has been due to first being victorious and happy that they had proven themselves to be the greater peace. But at the same time, she mourns the aspects of herself that she has lost. And all that she is left with is the icy white bit of herself. In this time that she has been since the creation of this world, which was created by the fight that was instigated within herself, she sought to have some sort of community with the people that were starting to pop up in this world, that were starting to grow and become from the very seeds of war and disruption that were within each of these continents. And so she sent to this earth golden mass. Something shiny, to catch the idea and the little pieces of the people who are below. Through these masks, she can communicate with the people who wear them. She can call them to do whatever she thinks is funny. Or most commonly, and the default of it, is to call them to do what they feel is their greatest calling. Which would be, whatever you feel is your strongest conviction. And whether that be something quite good or something quite bad, you're going to do that at whatever cost to yourself or others. It compels you to do everything that you physically can and more to be able to get what you want. And that means that a lot of things that were done out of the goodness of people's hearts have been twisted and compelled to create something greater that it shouldn't have. For instance, people who wanted equality, then going out and, maiming and hurting and killing the young of the rich and wealthy to be able to make them do their bidding to create an era of equality. That being the people of Golden Scale, which is where Golden Dragonborn was able to get a hold of one of these masks, and in its compulsion, the white aspect, who also goes by the name the Mouthpiece, called upon them to do their greatest thing, and it bred that, which has only twisted over the eons that this group has continued to exist. There are many other groups like it. Golden Scale is in particular the one that they have met first in this world, as my PCs have continued to journey through this world that I've created. There's a lot more things for them to find and a lot more places for them to go, but that is part of the beginning. As this world was continuing to form, it's not exactly stable with the other planes. And so the first one peeking through, as the very curious nature of them so entails them to peek first, is the Feywilds plane. And there are many people from the Feywilds, including the highest of the Sealy courts, that have come into this world and explored what it has to offer. There are many things about it that kind of pull people into it, including, all the aspects that make a Seelie quite interested. Being just people and how they interact with each other and how they care, hate, grow, all those wonderful things that make people interesting. And it's brought them to even make pacts with some of them and very much kind of grow within each other into something far greater than what they were originally. The aspects of this world allows them to be able to go and just kind of intertwine themselves with every aspect of it. The green world in particular, where a lot of this campaign is taking place, is specifically the continent of Atem. The greater world name will be revealed later. But this world is very much, especially the green continent, has a lot of desire to create themselves something greater. But as is the aspect of what a green dragon creates, is often poison and fungus and disease. There are things like the disease called black tongue that cause an almost necromantic pull on each of the people who are afflicted. It first manifests in the tongue going black, almost like it's already decayed before the rest of the body goes. There are different pieces of the skin and the blood turns black and just eats the person from within. They lose their mind, they lose their consciousness, and eventually they lose their life. And from these bodies is born a fruit. They're called the fruit herb, heart herb, that really brings about some interesting changes and some interesting consequences to those who are able to find and pluck the fruit. The decision as well as to whether or not they want to keep that is entirely their own, and whether or not they want to actually make something from the herb will be entirely up to the PCs. There are several people who have made things out of these heart herbs within this land, but not every single one of them. And there are lots of other things to do with it. We'll continue the story in the next one.